and this is Revolution Radio on revolution.radio. Our producer today is Thomas Becker, also known as Amadpainter, and our guests today are Susan Swanbeck and Michelle Sullivan. Let's see what else. What am I missing? We're on Studio B, and let me tell you a little bit about our people. Then I'm going to bring on Dr. Lessin, and then we will bring on, I guess we'll start with Susan since her name is first, and then we'll bring in Michelle. So Susan Swanbeck is an empathetic spirit reader that has been talking with spirits since
hang on, Janet. Hang on, it's not working.
Hang on. Not working. Okay, try that again.
I'm going to have to change the settings here. I'm flying by the seat of my pants.
Just not to worry. As long as you keep the pants on.
We're watching you fly.
Okay.
We're holding.
Start now.
Okay. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Sacred Matrix on Revolution Radio. And I'm your host, Janet Lessin, with my co-host, Dr. Sasha Alex Lessin. And our producer is the world-famous Thomas Becker, also known as Amadpainter. And this is Revolution Radio Studio B. And our guests are Susan Swanbeck and Michelle Sullivan. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about them before we bring on Dr. Lessin, then we'll bring on Susan and then Michelle. So Susan Swanbeck is an empathetic spirit reader that has been talking with spirits since the age of 4.5. She was born a Celtic witch who was mentored by a Native American Indian and a Catholic Celtic witch in all aspects of their spiritual knowledge, learning to combine and control her gifts. And she's the founder, producer, and host of Awakening the Unknown, a metaphysical paranormal radio show on ATU Network, and in which she is the CEO. And I'm not going to read everything about her bio. It's up on aquarianradio.com, but she is a intuitive counselor, parapsychologist with a degree in psychology. And there's a lot more about her, including some pictures on aquarianradio.com. And when you go to Aquarian Radio, do a search for Susan Swanbeck and Michelle Sullivan, and it'll pull up their bio page. Let's see. We're going to talk a little bit about Michelle Sullivan. She was formerly known as Michelle Medeiros. She's the owner of New Bedford Paranormal, owner of the Youth Society, as well as the Paranormal School of Research. And she helps children understand the paranormal investigative roles. And she's the CEO of Attune Network, I guess that's how you pronounce it. And she was born a hereditary witch. I don't know what a hereditary witch is, but you'll explain that. And from a long line of village witches and healers, she also uses her psychic gifts and tarot to give people all-around readings. And I don't know what tasseography, TASSEOGRAPHY. Oh, that's tea leaf readings. Our skills she's available to use. And she's an herbology expert and master of Wicca. And anyway, her bio and pictures are up on aquarianradio.com as well. So here's Dr. Lessin. Hi, sweetheart.
Aloha. You know, we usually start out with interviewing our guests about, tell us about yourself and how you got into this line of being in the world. And and the most interesting thing is I give this sort of hypnotic induction at the beginning of the show that you can imagine that as these people relate their experience, they're your experiences too. And let that resonate inside you, and let this be empathetically your journey too, and you'll learn a lot.
So let's start with Susan. Welcome to the show, Susan.
Well, thank you for having me.
Telling us about yourself.
Start telling you about what?
Go ahead. You yourself. Who are you? How did you get into this work? What happened like early on? How did you discover this in your life? Were you a year old, 2 years old, 5 years old, 20? What happened?
Well, I don't have much memory. I have like a sporadic memory from childhood from an accident, but I started talking to spirits about 4.5. So my best friend was named Jenny. She was a ghost.
Wow. Tell us more about Jenny's ghost.
Well, Jenny was just a little girl that I used to hang with. And she had this epiphany from like my closet and my table, and we used to hang out and talk. Of course, my mother thought I was nuts, but I guess I went on the Bozo show when I was about 5 because I was still talking to her then. And I won one of these Barbie doll cars that was like the ultimate back when I was a kid. But I take the batteries out at night so the batteries didn't like get bad in them. So the car was riding around the table because Jenny was playing with it. And I told her, stop, because, stop. My mother's going to get mad because it makes noise and it'll wake her up. And sure enough, my mother woke up and come in and she's seen the car going around. She says, what did you do? Hop right back in bed? I said, no, Ma, it was Jenny. She never believed me. So my grandmother did, but my mother didn't. So I said, no, Mom, it was Jenny. She was playing with the car. She looked and there were no batteries in the back of the car. My mother turned pale white, put the car in the closet and walked out the door. So it took a lot of years of me being kind of like quiet and telling everybody else but my mother. But right now, my family knows and accepts who I am now. But it took a while. So I understand that. And I think that's what kind of led me and Michelle into radio, is between doing that and the paranormal. And it's just, I know what it feels like to be alone when you're younger or a teenager and you're kind of like the strange outcast. And I just don't want anybody else to feel alone. So, yeah.
Can I just ask, were you somehow acting out your mother's disowned part, that she had that same kind of energy inside her, and it was disturbing that you were able to be there? You know what I mean?
No, my mother is a weather sensitive. It all comes from my grandmother. Yeah, all from my grandmother's side. She had the Irish and
mother had no idea.
My mother, no, she really didn't.
Your mother. So your mother didn't have any abilities, and my mother. I had a similar thing go, but my mother was actually seeing the ghost, and she was talking to her mother who had died, but she would freak out on me, so she couldn't accept that within herself. But I mean, it doesn't mean that your mother was doing it. But so you said you knew that your grandmother had abilities.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
Well, my grandmother had abilities, and when I was a kid, I spent a lot of time with her. It was just easier and more freely to open up with her, and plus the beach was very soothing to me because she had a house on the beach, and she just knew. She was a psychic individual, a very spiritual individual, because there's Native American on my grandmother's side and also the Celtic. So it's more like a Celtic shaman type of energy that I have. So she taught me a lot. There was books and things I weren't supposed to talk about with my mother. So evidently it skipped her and went to me. So I wasn't supposed to talk to my mother about a lot of stuff we talked about.
And where were you raised? You said the beach. You had a beach.
Yeah, private beach. I grew up on Wilbur's Point in Fairhaven.
What part of the world?
Oh, East Coast.
Oh, East Coast. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, it's the same thing as in anthropology. To say there's the love of alternate generations and rivalry between succeeding ones.
Oh, yeah.
Grandparents and grandchildren have an affinity.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. No, my mother wasn't. It spooked my mother more than anything else. It took a while for her to come around to kind of accept who I was. But I think it really wasn't 100% until my grandmother's deathbed, when I walked in to see my grandmother when she was dying. And the nurse came up and said, yep, your grandmother was waiting for you to put her into a sleep so she could pass. She told us all about your gifted abilities. My grandmother's never said anything to anybody until that day. So that's when I went in to the hospital room where her bed was, and she told me she was scared. And I held her hand and I told her I would put her into a dream so she would pass peacefully. And that's what I did. I put her into a dream and she passed that night, never woke up again.
Wow.
So, and
does
so
she still communicate does she still talk to you?
My grandmother? Yeah. My grandmother does.
Yes.
My father does. My grandfather does. And my husband's a pain in the butt still. And he talks to me in spirit as well.
It's like the marriage that never ends.
Yeah.
And is your mother still alive?
Well, honey?
Is your mother still alive?
Yes. Yes, my mother is.
Okay.
Yep.
And did you resolve that with her?
Oh yeah, it was back when my grandmother had passed. I think she finally understood what was going on because it was something my grandmother didn't talk about, and it was the day she passed. And what the nurse said when I walked in, because I was with my mom, she came in just to check on her, and I was going to spend some time with her. So she came in, and when the nurse said everything she said that my grandmother said, because towards the end they get very open and honest because they border in between living and the spirit.
Mhm.
So when they're bordering in between the both, it's easier for her to be a little bit more honest when they talk. Sometimes they don't realize they're saying it out loud.
Mhm. Right.
I think it might have been hard for Mother to realize how her daughter was special.
Yeah, and that kind of special, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, maybe that kind of special too. But no, it was just it kind of scared her. I don't think she's ever seen objects move before, and to me, it was something that I kind of grew up with. Objects moving around my house all the time. I could see who was pushing them or pulling them, but nobody else could. So
Did you move objects yourself? Or you
I
do?
don't 100% remember that, and I can't positively say yes or no either way. I have heard some stories, but like I said, I got into an accident, so some of my childhood memories are gone from my fall.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's let Michelle talk a little bit, and then we'll go back and forth.
Well, I just want to say
Go ahead, Sasha.
that there's neurobiotaxis happening in the brain, and there's stuff happening in your aura, and everything that ever happened is going to come back to you in the right time.
Yep.
Yay!
Yes, it is. That's what I
Come
believe.
on, abundance. Bring it on. This is the first Sunday we haven't gotten our chakra on in like forever.
Yeah, well, we moved our chakra show to Monday, so we've had a lot of requests for Sundays, this, that, and the other thing. But Michelle, it's your turn.
Michelle Sullivan is now at the beck and
Yes,
call.
Michelle, tell us about yourself.
Oh my goodness. I am a hereditary witch. I was gifted since birth with that right. My family comes from a small island. I'm Portuguese. So I'm European. So we come from a very small island in the Azores Islands. It's one out of 9 islands. And my grandmother and my great grandmother and all the other ladies in my ancestry happened to be the village witch. So they used to set the bones, make the medicine, birth the babies, hex people, unhex people, do all kinds of things for them herbally, you name it. It was the village witch that literally who they would run to. They didn't have, the villages don't have doctor's offices and such like that. It's a very small island still. So I ended up literally becoming the village witch. But I actually became the village witch of 2 villages because my parents were star-crossed lovers, and one grandmother was a village witch of one village, and the other grandmother was the village witch of another village. And I am the product of those 2, actually. So I do white and dark magic. I got to do whatever it takes to keep the people well. Yes. I even till this day, I'm
close.
The village still lingers. The village still goes on. And I'm still considered the village witch. We have somebody here local, literally, who pays me the way they used to pay the village witches back in the day. She makes food. She makes dessert. She does anything and everything she can because that's how they know how to pay the village witch for her help and her attention. It was kind of like a crazy thing I got grown up with. And then, not to mention, I can see things paranormally. I feel things paranormally. I've investigated paranormally. So the physical, the metaphysical, and the paranormal is kind of like part of my village witchery, I guess you can call it. But
we combined our Wonder Twin powers.
That's right. We combined ourselves and went pow. And now we're just a threat, boy. We're telling you, we're a threat here. We're bisexual people. We are definitely bisexual.
Bisexual, I like that.
Oh yes, I am. I'm white and dark. I'm bisexual. So whatever your village witch needs are, you got it. But I mean, it literally entails like getting people pregnant.
Oh yeah,
Wow.
literally.
I can get people pregnant.
I can prove it. I can prove she does this. Okay,
Yes.
with her herbs,
Well,
because
tell us about that.
yeah.
Yeah, yo,
So,
tell them the story.
Are you
You
the
gotta hear
village witch where you live now? Let me ask you a question. Are you
Um,
still the village witch back in Europe, or are you a village witch in America? Where do you live in America?
I'm
Where do you
still
live in
considered
England?
the village witch of those two villages. My family still has a big connection, and we go back and forth to the old country, and here still yet to this day. So the village witchery still goes on, even though I'm here now and things are going on there. I get calls. I get nowadays with social media, I'm literally at a drop of a hat for anybody who needs me these days. And thankfully, people listen to my advice. Thankfully.
That's wonderful. So, where do you live now? You're on the East Coast now. Is that what you're saying?
Yep, I live on the East Coast. Susan and I are roommates, so we're our own version of Laverne and Shirley going on here. So,
Now,
yep,
where you live, do they recognize the village witch?
yes,
in the
they
United
do.
States, or is that
Yes.
okay?
No,
Are you the village witch there as well?
I am actually. I very much so am. They literally still recognize that. My grandmother's still alive. She's 96 years old, so about 30 years ago now, I accepted the honor. And then 20 years ago, I had the other grandmother pass away, and I accepted her gifts and the family's gifts from there. So over the years, my gifts have kind of expanded, which has been nice because I've been able to help a lot of people out.
So how did you two come together?
Oh my good. All right, Sue's got to tell you the beginning of this story.
What's
But
the paranormal
she's
story?
got to tell her the paranormal. But I'm going to start off by saying this. Sue and I I've crossed paths so many times, and it just wasn't the time. But when divine timing happened, boy, that's it. Chemistry, bombs, everything. Pow! Our Wonder Twin powers connected, and that's it. We've been literally taking the world by storm ever since.
Yeah, we did.
Wow.
We crossed paths in the paranormal field because I do a lot of videoing. So, and I was I was the lead psychic investigator for Whaling City Ghosts,
Mhm.
the one that was involved in the Bridgewater Triangle documentary.
Mhm.
So I was part of that team, but I was only the lead psychic investigator. But I got bored just being the psychic, so I went out and I learned video.
Mhm.
So then I started videotaping, and then people started calling me to videotape their shows because they liked the way
Yeah.
that I put them
So she had
together.
already filmed shows of mine from
Yeah,
a previous
literally.
team that I belonged in.
Yep, we did, and just didn't connect. And I went out and filmed this other one for Traveling Paranormal. She was there. We didn't connect. And then she calls me and says, "Hey, I'm getting married. You want to do a discount wedding?" I said, "Well, I've never done a wedding before, but I'll try."
Right?
So we went down. We talked about it. She told me what she wanted. And we've kind of been BFFs ever since.
Yeah. So out of that marriage, I got Sue.
Oh, wonderful.
So, what happened to the marriage?
Oh, the marriage has been on the wayside since 4.5 months after the actual wedding happened. So, but Sue is the relationship that I truly got on that day. That's my anniversary with
That's
Sue.
wonderful.
And then we have the same goals in mind. We talk about everything. We love what we do. We're very passionate. Whatever we need to do to help people, we do it. There are no boundaries to what we can do to help people.
Mhm.
She's a holistic counselor. I have my gifts. Between the two of us, you get a complete medical physical, I guess.
Yeah, that's what I like. I think about us both because you do the
Herbs.
herbology. I do the aromatherapy because I'm an
Yeah.
aromatherapist.
Yeah.
She deals a lot with as far as the situational type stuff but we both do our magic, and then we have
Yeah.
the holistic counseling, and we do the shows and the chakras, and
Yeah.
we do a lot of stuff.
We're women with a lot of
And crystals. We
yes.
sell crystals.
We're the Jill of all trades when it comes to metaphysical and the paranormal world.
Yeah.
Hey, how do you do the chakras? I'm a tantra teacher, so we all have our. What do you do?
I'm the one that does the chakras. I learned about chakras back when I became a Reiki Master Teacher when I was 18 or 19. And I kept expanding my knowledge on them. But what we do is we do work off of sound with singing bowls, but we also provide everybody
With DNA repair.
with information. We talk about the hertz, the DNA repair. So there's like aromatherapy, there's crystals,
Yeah,
there's
we use
foods,
the
there's
bowls.
herbs. there's sound, there's all kinds of things like meditation, there's all kinds of things you can do
Kind of hit them from
to
all
actually
angles.
keep your chakras in aligned and balanced, which is extremely important, because if one's blocked, they're all unblocked. So to that, we also add the psychological aspects of it, and including the physical aspects of it, like the like when you're dealing with addiction, there's a lot of issues with addiction that could be fixed through unblocking some of the chakras, because you figure in, I think it's the sacral chakra is one of them. When the sacral chakra is actually affected, what happens is it actually causes this, what is known as this pleasure sensation, and individuals have to have that instant pleasure, that instant gratification type thing, and that's where some individuals will actually go into addiction. So in the process of writing a book, Michelle's my editor, and we're going to include all of that in it, including some of the psychological exercises you can do, including a CD also of the actual tones that you use, and they're at 432 hertz. All my bowls are 432, not 440, but we also utilize tuning forks with 528 DNA, which is DNA repair, the 528. Does that explain it? I'm sorry.
So we get our chakra on. We talk about auras. We make sure everybody's auras are good. We make sure our auras are good.
Yeah.
We touch upon so many different things on actual chakra, on Healing Sundays. We go through the different herbs, the different crystals. I mean, you name it. You name it. We talk very much about it. That's why we usually leave Sundays totally for the healing aspect. It's all healing all Sunday, every Sunday.
Yeah, but it's now Healing Mondays for a couple of weeks.
For a couple of weeks.
This week we got you, and next week I got a baby shower. So.
Yes, she's got twin grandbabies. That's my fault, by the way. Those twin grandbabies are my fault.
Yes,
Your
they are.
fault. We have to
Yes.
talk about it. So I think Sasha has a question. Did you have a question, Tony? Okay, no, he doesn't have a question. So tell us how you get people pregnant. That's got to be interesting.
Go ahead.
How do you get people pregnant? I don't want to get pregnant, by the way.
No,
I don't want to either.
All right, good. Okay.
You'd be rich.
Well,
No,
I utilize
pregnant.
utilize a lot of herbs and a lot of teas, and there's a certain cycle of the moon, and there's certain vitamins, and there is like an actual very strict regimen that needs to be followed in order for it to be successful. And I'm successful with every single one that I've done so far, knock on wood. But the side effect is actually twins. So I've kind of caused people to have twins quite a few times. So I may not have been there in the pregnation process, but I was there in the other way. But the woman who wants to get pregnant.
Okay, let's start. Wait. What do they eat when they want to get pregnant? Let's start with that.
I can't divulge all of my things, but one thing that's very important. Yeah, well, I'll tell you one thing that's very, very important when it comes to fertility, and that's something that we don't normally think of: rosemary. Rosemary is your herb to go to for any type of fertility issues. You can drink it. You put it under your bed. You can put it on weird places. You know what I'm saying? You know, whatever makes the fires go.
Thank you.
You know?
Wonderful. Thank you.
But I can't tell you the whole thing.
What do you find is the main cause of infertility? Have you
I honestly
noticed any
believe that
pattern?
it's to be honest, I believe it's mind over matter. If the mother to be and the father to be and everybody's aligned, they really want this baby. Following the regimen makes it open to happen, but it's also the want. I think I honest to God believe it's so much what they want, because if say Sue's daughter-in-law, if she didn't want to get pregnant, even though she still went through all this fertility stuff, it wouldn't happen. So part of the work that I do is not only just with the herbs, not only just with certain moon things. I'm literally treating the entire person, the entire couple. So it makes it kind of a fun, adventurous way to get pregnant, I guess, because they think the village witches make.
Do they sometimes say I have a desire to get pregnant, but they're blocking, another part of them is blocking it? Mm-hmm. Are you dealing with people that are conflicted, and then when you get through the conflict, they end up getting pregnant?
Very much so. There's a lot of people that start the regimen and have doubt, and maybe a month goes by, and they wonder why. Why am I not pregnant? Why am I not pregnant? Try the actual way it's supposed to be done the next month and tell me what you think. And sure enough, with the herbs, with the vitamins, with the specific regimen, they will get pregnant, providing they still got a uterus.
Yeah.
I can't make those kind of miracles happen. But as long as they got a
Right.
uterus and they're good to go, then that's why I warned them. I warned them that side effects are literally the side effect, because in part of the herbal remedy, what we're doing is causing the female to pop out more eggs, feel more fertile, become more fertile. There's a part in the male that gives him that libido, gives him that want, gives him that excitement. And then you add a little bit of me, and everybody's having fun making babies.
Oh, listen, this is totally wonderful. I hope anyone listening really, if you have a friend that can use this, you can see how wonderful it is. Thank you so much.
Oh, our pleasure. Absolutely.
Do you have your clients go to their doctor and find out if they are ovulating and if they do have
Yes.
a sufficient sperm count?
I look at it this way. I look at it this way. The more the merrier. Go get a physical. I want to know that you're healthy. I want to know these things because I want to know what to prescribe for you. If you have high blood pressure, even there's certain things that they can't take. If they have diabetes, even gestational diabetes, there's certain things they can't take for that. So I do treat the entire patient.
Yeah, we're
and I
the
look
same
at
way
that.
with aromatherapy.
Exactly. So I always tell them, make sure you do everything you can, even if you're still like working the regimen to get pregnant. But nowadays we live in the era of science. Follow and do what they tell you to do, because all it does is it just creates even more of a mindset of, all the things start aligning. Their cells, the hormones start aligning, the want starts aligning. And I appreciate that it comes from a medical world. I use that for their benefit.
I'm just wondering if olfaction therapy, like could be part of treatment too. What do you do with aromatherapy? What would you have a person that wants to get pregnant and have the smells that that would facilitate that?
Well, aromatherapy is what I do. Michelle does herbology, and aromatherapy. A lot of times, what I deal with is I'm dealing with a lot of issues with pain, pain management. Like for instance, Michelle has diabetes, so she has diabetic neuropathy. So the first thing I did when I graduated, of course, after I got my oils, was to mix up a remedy. And there's a certain way on a remedy that actually alleviated the pain. I've got a couple more oils actually going out for testers for some of the people in our inner sanctum. So, but it all has to be based individually, based on what, again, what medications you're on, what your symptoms are, because there are certain aromas that people cannot be around. And I could give you one for an example, which I say every time on my show. It's the same one as an example. It's if you have high blood pressure or you're on high blood pressure medication, stay away from peppermint. Peppermint. Not spearmint. You cannot be around peppermint, because what peppermint does is it'll knock off your medication. So if you're dealing with somebody in aromatherapy, as far as an aromatherapist, their job is to get the doctors, this is what you're on, this is what you do. This is just another method as far as like pain management and anxiety. So this way the individuals that are sick don't have to be on so much medication is what we're trying to do. We're trying to lessen that.
But
that is a real problem in our society, pain management.
Right. But as far as the pregnancy goes, that's what helps with Sue doing aromatherapy. Rosemary oil, for instance, would be a huge one if you talk about.
That's what I was wondering. Yes.
Yeah.
Rosemary oil. You can't, when you're trying to get pregnant, there's not enough rosemary. Put rosemary in your diet, rosemary in your food. Put fresh rosemary under your bed. Fresh rosemary in your pillows. I mean, you cannot OD on rosemary.
Yeah, but you have to be very careful with oils too. You want to make sure that they're actually pharmaceutical grade and therapeutical grade. You need to, your best bet is just honestly is to go see an aromatherapist, because you can't go to Walmart and pick up an oil and start ingesting it or leaving it places, because if it does have another carrier oil or other things in it, it could affect you very badly.
Yeah. But see, so we kind of tag team our clients and everything nowadays. We do that, and we usually tag team our clients when we're doing readings.
Yep.
I do the tarot, and she does the channeling and mediumship work. So when you get a reading from us, you get a reading again, total encompassing reading. So we don't hold back. We don't hold our punches. If we can help, we can do it together. That's what we do.
Yep.
What tarot cards did you draw this morning?
I actually didn't draw any yet this morning, but there is a number of decks that we use on a regular basis, and locally we're going to have a new venture that's called Coffee, Cards, and Crystals. And what we'll be doing is I'll be teaching tarot. We'll be teaching tarot. We'll be giving people readings. We'll be talking to them and teaching people about crystals. So it's something that we already automatically we do. Sue and I work seamlessly together. So we even do that with our readings themselves. I'll get into the tarot cards, and again I pull different tarot cards for different people. I have a number of different decks. So Susan and I both, we utilize the deck as we need for the person, literally tailored for the person.
What's your favorite deck? What's your favorite 2 decks?
I have actual Adoring Virtue deck that's probably about 35, 40 years old, that I use as an oracle deck that I love, as my oracle deck. And then I have a very old Witches Tarot, that I've had since I was probably 15 years old now. Those are probably my 2 oldest. Wow. And I love them. I love them. I still use them on a regular basis. And we just added 2 new cards to our repertoire, which is another Doreen Virtue Archangel deck, and it is another universe deck, which gives us different mudras and different different things to look forward to in our day. So it depends. It really does depend. Sue works a lot of energy. She does a lot of energy.
I just grab my crystals.
Yeah,
that's it.
She can grab her crystal, and off she goes off into channeling land, and so she can do that like that. And I work through the cards, but I've been doing that so long, so I do work through the cards. But she does all the cool channeling stuff. Yeah, and I don't even have to order HBO.
Do you want to do a tarot card reading for this show?
I can after the break. I'll go grab my cards. I can give you a quick one.
Okay, yeah. Well, actually, we're going to keep going through the break, but if you need to go get them, we'll just keep talking.
Yeah.
It sounds like a good idea.
Actually, Sue's got her energy deck handy.
Yeah, well,
she can start things off.
If anybody has a question, literally, while Michelle gets her deck, I can answer any question.
Well, okay, that's wonderful. What really comes to my mind is the 3 we used to do, like where are we going? What are the bridges we need to get there, and what would it be like when we got there?
Okay, going where? The question you're asking is more of a broad spectrum.
Where are we going?
Right.
That's right.
Physically, mentally, or emotionally. There's 3 separate things that you're dealing with there. You're dealing with a physical, where are you going, a physical, mental, or emotional. And that's the thing. And sometimes they don't always connect. And that seems to be the holdup right now, if you can understand that. I'm sorry. This is what happens. I kind of talk a lot.
She starts channeling, so I just kind of let her channel.
What's happening is there's the separation from connection, from body, mind, and spirit is what it is. Sometimes the disconnect can actually cause things to be put on hold or pause slightly, is what they're saying. So it's more along the lines that those connections need to be made. And I'm trying to figure out what the connections are now. And this is why we work together, as I'm channeling and figuring this out. She plops over her decks.
Yep. I have a deck that was made for us.
Right.
I have a deck that was literally made for us from one of our affiliates down in New Orleans. She made an amazing tarot deck that she sent us. So I'm going to be drawing cards from that one first. It's like
okay. Let's know what card you get. Maybe you could describe them for us.
Sure, absolutely. So in this deck, it all looks like Mardi Gras. It has all the amazing crystal skull paintings and artwork. And it has a couple of new additions to the deck that I liked. She added a domestic violence one, which is a really good card to have as part of a deck. Because nowadays, as we know, domestic violence is still something that is happening and occurring.
Yeah, who's the one that's not taking time for themselves?
What's that?
Somebody's not taking time. Yes, somebody there is not. You asked. I'm sorry. I'm still channeling. This happens to me. Somebody there isn't actually taking enough time for themselves. You need to go and pause, and you need to rest. Because what you do is you've been going, and you're almost like on a burnout. So what they want you to do is take a step back in order to get a fresh perspective, in order to get where you're going. And why do we have a contract here? Who's getting ready to sign a
good.
contract?
That's me. I'm the one that's working like, well, we both work very hard, but I don't take a break because I'm like the person with the finger in the dam and it's about to burst. So I'm like, just maintaining.
Yeah,
All right, so
they need you to take a step back and stop thinking so much. You're thinking too much.
Okay.
All right. So by taking a step back and actually, what's going to happen psychologically, if you take a step back and take that break from your inner monologue of your mind, it's actually going to give you a fresh perspective. And they're mentioning something about a contract actually coming forward to you. And I'm talking monetary. My hand's itchy.
Is this in relation to a child?
Finances. At least, go ahead, Michelle.
Is this
Sorry.
in relation to a child?
No, I haven't seen any contract. Is it a good contract or a bad contract?
Well, you're waiting to rent those apartments.
Well, no, talk about that. It has to be something bigger.
No,
than
this
that.
is positive.
What kind
It's
of
a
contract?
This is a positive contract
Okay.
that's actually going to bring in finances.
Yep, exactly.
That would be great.
You're gonna get some shmoney.
Now,
You're gonna get some
I
shmoney.
would be good.
Now,
Keep the lights on?
is this due to some kind of power struggle? Is there a certain power struggle in effect here somewhere? I feel that there is.
Well-
Everyone's looking at each other going, not me, not me. A little bit of maybe perhaps.
We've had battles over our property for 25 years. Yeah, people want our property.
I feel like you're kind of feeling like it's so overdone. You're ready to just be done with it. I feel like you just need to mend from that whole episode. Like it just needs to be done over with. Just so you don't want to have to talk about it anymore. You don't want to have to look at it. You don't want to have to deal with it. And I feel like there's a lot of secrets in relation to this. There's a lot of secrets in this episode. So yeah, that's a tough.
We certainly don't have all the information. We just have the battle. No, we don't know what the other side is doing. That's true. We don't have any idea what they're doing.
Yeah. Oh, excuse me.
hey,
That's
sorry,
the doggy
that's
sound
our
alarm.
that's our dogs, our partners in crime.
Yes.
Hot
That's-
dog.
Buddha.
I
Dog wants to come on
Buddha.
the show too.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
always is.
Yeah.
he's my Buddha buddy here. I got the worry card, so somebody has been extremely worried about all this. Knock it off. Someone's been
I
very,
major
very
in
worried.
worrying. I have a PhD in worrying. Yes.
Yes, you do. He's been praying very hard, praying very, very hard in order for this to be over. You almost feel like it haunts you still. Like there's that feeling on top of you and like weighing you down. Like stop.
Quiet.
That feels like you're literally being haunted by all this. Oh my goodness, when are you gonna go back to figure this out? When is this gonna be over?
Yeah, it's a good question.
Right? Because I feel like you guys are still going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. I feel like, but I feel like someone's gonna finally find out exactly what they do want eventually. I'm getting like within 3 months. Okay, does that make sense?
I was hoping before 2020. Yeah, I was hoping it would be resolved before 20, but not a bad resolution, a good resolution before 2020.
Right.
I've been at this for 15 years, and it's like never ever ending.
Are
And
you
it's out of
actually
my control.
now? Let me ask
It
you a
seems
question.
to be out of my control.
Are you
go
actually
ahead.
listening to people when they talk to you about this whole situation? Are you really listening? Because
I've hired professionals to deal with it because it's over my head legally.
right. Because I just feel like you're just ready to find the beauty in all this. Like you want to find out, okay, what was all this all about? What was the lesson I was supposed to learn? Why has this gone on so interminably long like that? You know, it feels like a woman scorned. Hell hath no fury like a woman scorned, aka.
It's the microcosm reflects the macrocosm. It's what's going on with the planet. So the planet, the stress manifests itself in my own life, my own property. It's what's happening with a lot of people. They're
Of
getting a
course.
mini version of what's going on globally.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
So yes, if I could resolve it and the world could resolve it, everything would resolve at once.
Right.
Yes,
I haven't quite
exactly.
figured that out.
Well, but Okay, you
Do
got to
you have
stop
any
the
insights
worrying.
on how to resolve this?
Got to stop the worry,
Yeah,
though.
there's definitely an issue with worrying and overthinking. They're also saying that you're off balance and there's something going on in your heart chakra right now. It's almost, I don't know if it's a block or if it's spinning. It's like an oval, so it's spinning off ways. So there's something going on in that particular area. So you could have symptoms like heartburn. What else could you have? Like aches, pains, anything up in the heart and the shoulder area will be affected with that. Because it's almost like heartburn is what I'm getting. And that's like a blockage because when you feel deeply is what they're saying. So, and you do have that connection. Are you the empath?
I'm very empathic. I'm very
Okay.
psychic.
All right. Because they're saying empathic, you're starting to feel a lot of what's actually coming up. And as far as you talking about the earth, yes, you are. And they're taking me to the core. I don't know if you've been talking about the core of the earth lately or what, that they're talking about something you mentioned about the core of the earth. And yes, you are feeling that. Things are going to be a little off balance for you because what's happening is you not only are you dealing with what's going on with you, you're also dealing with everything else. There is an expansion coming, they're saying too.
Yep,
So they want
more
you
of
to
an
ground.
awakening happening
They
coming
want
up.
you to ground a little bit more, which is going to be a little bit more difficult.
Halloween is the new moon.
Because of the empathic abilities, but new moon, new beginning. Very good idea, Michelle.
Mhm.
Definitely ground, root like a tree. Literally just picture your
Now's the
feet
time.
like a tree and root it. Barefoot is the best thing to do if you can do it.
I have big trees all around my property. I'll go hug big trees.
Yeah.
You should
That's
go
a good
hug a
idea.
tree.
I used to go hug trees all the time. I haven't been out and hugged a tree in a while.
You
Yeah.
should go
I
hug a
literally
tree.
used to go up and hug trees.
Yeah, go hug a tree barefoot. You need to go hug a tree barefoot.
Right.
Well, unless there's snow on the ground, then you get frostbite, and we don't want that. So
No, I'm in Maui, Hawaii, and we have trees that are hundreds of feet tall. I mean, it's like living
Awesome.
in Avatar world.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's
So I'm in a lot of nature. I'm in green.
You should.
Yeah.
You should, and go barefoot, and encourage all your other friends and stuff. Everybody should go barefoot.
yeah, they're
Go
saying
barefoot.
they're saying that you have like the element as far as like the wind coming towards you, and I'm hearing water, but they're saying you're not grounding enough, and that seems to be the issue right now.
Because you
need
think
to
you've
ground a
surrendered
little
to the
bit more.
situation, but you haven't.
Right.
You haven't.
Well, I think barefoot's a good idea. I'll go out and stick my feet in the sand, or
Yes.
even my dirtier. Some of the richest soil on earth. I just go walk in the garden.
Absolutely.
Sounds great.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thanks.
No, that you honestly, and we actually do our shows barefoot, believe it or not.
Yeah.
Because that's how much we believe totally into the grounding effect. We don't use shoes when we do our show. You will
Even
never
in the
see us-
winter.
Yep.
I
We
don't
wear.
have sun.
So it's like get to work, go to work, no shoes, because we want to be able to be grounded. So that's how we.
Yeah, but it's easy because our dogs are on top of our feet.
Yeah, they keep our feet
I got
warm.
Otis on my feet right now.
But as far as the reading goes, honey, that's what's going. Any specific other questions?
Let's see. Okay, so what was the 3 parts? We used to do readings all the time. We had this one friend. We would do readings almost every day. So we would pull out. What was the 3?
It was. What's your starting point? What's your desire? What are the bridges or obstacles? And what's the outcome?
Yeah. So we're not quite doing the same format, but and we're kind of real connected like you guys are. So we're.
Yeah, I studied with Angie, Angel Sarian, and so I love the tarot.
Yeah.
Yes.
I
Yeah,
use the weight deck.
Yeah, I don't.
Oh,
do,
the original,
But a lot
right?
of-
yeah.
Yep.
I don't do tarot. I only channel and
I
tell
teach
people
people.
what it is that the spirits are actually telling me.
Yeah.
And if there's some healing involved,
Now-
in it, then Michelle takes over and I'll do the
Yeah,
healing.
and we teach as the original
Yeah.
Rider-Waite deck. When we do our tarot teachings, we teach the original Rider-Waite.
Yeah, I
'Cause I
pull
feel
more
like everybody-
runes. When I'm pulling anything, I'll pull a rune.
I honestly believe that everybody should kind of learn the basics. It's like
As a matter of fact, I can
from
pull a rune.
scratch.
If I can
So
find my rune.
that's why I very much believe in that. Very much believe in that. So do you have any other questions? See, this is what we do, though. This is kind of what we do, though. We kind of we overlap and we add things that are needed for the reading. I have my instincts. She has her instincts. We know how to.
Yeah, I don't
work
pull
together.
cards. I do pull runes.
Mm-hmm. And it works.
So
Little
what
script.
I did was I took off 2019 kind of from traveling. I normally would go the circuit, all the conferences. So I focus on the UFO experiencers,
Right.
conferences, and I would go to the major ones. And then I got sick, and I stayed home because I wasn't feeling well. And so that got finished by about June. And so I just said, I'm taking off of all of 2019. I wasn't sure why. It was just like Spirit was telling me, stay home for 2019.
Right.
And so I've been home. But what about 2020? Are you seeing that I should get back on the road again? Should I stay home? Should I do a combination? What are you seeing?
I'm gonna pull some cards, but I kind of feel like you're already made up your mind. You already made up your mind. Yeah. You already made up your mind, honey. You're not feeling, you want to be on the road, but you're feeling like you're not ready to go on the road for some reason. But it's a new life for you. Like, this is a new thing. It's going to actually be very good for your health, believe it or not, because, it's going to help you totally feel good in general. But your mind's already, right now, your mind is made up that you're not going to go. Okay? It's telling you it's a new road, a new life, it's a new beginning, something that you do need to do. But it's not telling you that you need to do it at this moment. So the first try can be a trial run, and then you need to go for it. Okay? So the universe is going to give you one trial run, and then you can go for it. Okay? Get the taste of it, because you can do this. You totally can do this.
Well, I just pulled a couple of runes. I took my runes out because that's what I connect with. So the two runes that I actually got for you, one is slightly backwards, which is the Kenny's ass. And that one deals with the manifestation of character in your personality. And I think that off balance that's the fire element. And what's happening is it's kind of interacting with the Wanya. And that has to deal with your wisdom. So in other words, your wisdom is second guessing what's going on, is what they're saying. But you're also dealing with the earth and the fire element. Those are the two elements that you have around you at the moment that you're dealing with. So what's happening is you're not grounding enough in order to keep the fire burning. So that's what they're saying. So whether or not you actually do go on 2020 depends on whether or not you can get that grounding energy back. Because without the energy from the earth, the grounding, then your energy center will be a little bit depleted. And we don't want it depleted. So in order for you to go back out on the circuit in 2020, you need that energy first.
Yeah, you want to be able to go through that growth and harmony, so you feel good when you get out there, okay? And just to be prepared, people are going to be jealous of you. People are going to wish revenge on you. Doesn't matter. Shrug it off and keep your focus, because we know some people will be jealous. People will be jealous, but it doesn't matter.
Jealous of me?
They will be jealous of you.
Jealous of me about?
Trust me, there's always somebody jealous of somebody else. Always.
See, we're not like that. We'll come over and straighten your crown for you.
So we'll help you right up. We'll say exactly what it is that comes up. But that's how we are.
Well, that's why I've never thought of people being jealous of me.
You never think so, but there is. Some people have nothing in their lives but jealousy to live off of.
Yeah, and that's negativity, and we don't believe in negativity. That's the other thing that we teach.
Big time.
It's all positivity all the time. It's a very difficult thing for some people to do.
That's what our network is all about. Is all about positivity. It's all about supporting one another. We have literally people in our chat rooms that have come on and become friends and are now best friends years later. These are people that used to feel alone. They don't feel alone anymore because they have ATU Network and we have them. That's how much love and passion that we have over what we do.
Oh, big
That's wonderful. Let me ask you a few more questions, because that was very good. I'm curious about, because you're saying that you're a witch, hereditary witch, and what's the other kind of witch? A Celtic witch.
I'm not a witch.
The different types of witches.
Which witch is which?
And what does it mean to be a witch? Because witch has got a bad name and a negative connotation, and we're in October and Halloween's coming up. So let's straighten out the world about witches.
I have to say, part of my work is done in the shadows. I do get calls from people saying, hey, while so-and-so's at lunch, can you come give me a card reading behind so-and-so's back during the day? I do get calls for people, oh, can you meet me in so-and-so's place so we can get reading without anybody knowing? There is a dark side of this. There's a shadow side. And I respect people's shadow side. So if they don't want anybody to know, there's no need for anybody to know. I don't have anybody I'm going to run and tell. That's their business. But a lot of my work does require a lot of that background shadow stuff. That's the difference with my magic and with Sue's magic. Sue's magic is all positive all the time.
Yeah, see,
I
I'm
have
different.
a good
I'm
witch
not,
and a bad witch.
I'm not a witch. I'm a Celtic. There's a difference. I was born a Celtic. I was born.
Okay, tell us the difference.
Okay, well, a witch.
I'm a Celtic.
Oh, you're a Celtic. Okay, so see, a witch is different. You're dealing with the different types of magic as far as a yin and yang type balance is what it is. As far as witchcraft has a lot to deal with the yin and yang, correct?
Yep, positive,
Now,
yep,
as far as
partial.
what I am, because I have the Celtic and I'm Hopi Indian, I'm kind of like a combination of two different things is what I am. That's how I was raised. So I deal a lot with energies is what I'm dealing with as far as the energies of the earth, the energies of people, keeping on a positive mind, developing like deep into spirit, helping people connect with spirit, because I did have a shaman along my line. So I have this like affinity for like candle magic with the runes, which is part of the Celtic side from the Norwegian side of me and the Irish side. I'm a mixed up mutt. So I've got all these different things that I do, but I do the candle magic with the aromatherapy and the oils, but I don't affect anybody. So if somebody has something negative in them, somebody who travels like the shadows, like Michelle, whether she's doing the white magic or the gray magic, she can go in. Me, I'm the opposite. If somebody is having an issue with somebody and needs something changed, I'll swift it. In other words, if
she gets the negative energy and turns it into positive
right
energy.
is what I'm doing. I take literally through candle magic. I'll take the negative energy that's happening without affecting anybody's free will and put it into positive of what you want. So I work with things different. I'm more of an energy-based type individual.
And I'm the type of witch who I go and I ask, hey, you bring me any toenails? You bring me any hair?
Yeah,
How
total
much
opposite, and we work well.
Nails in their hair.
Right? I need a little bit of some sort of DNA here. What am I doing here? But
You're the
I do
generator,
have
it's
that.
a transformer.
It's totally it's allowed.
Generator and transformer.
Right.
Yeah.
But I mean, I have that dark side from my father's side, and I have the white side from my mother's side.
But since you've been hanging around me, we've calmed the dark side down to gray.
Yes, she has.
And that's what it is, because see, Michelle is a fire element. I am air and water combined.
So I
can either burn her fire or literally kind of lighten it out a bit is what I do. And we kind of like, we work very well in that aspect.
But I mean, it's just.
Yeah, I feel you manifesting as like a coherent field. Like the two of you are a team. I can really feel how that's flowing.
Oh yes, absolutely much.
Very
Very
nice.
so.
That's why we work together better with one brain.
We do.
Yeah, we each half of a brain.
And we help each other do things that we wouldn't do to help ourselves, really.
Right.
We keep each other in check about what needs to get done, like the chakras, and are you blocked this week in your throat chakra, and we touch base with one another, with each other too, to make sure that we're both on 100% A game on whether it's our health, our metaphysical work, whether it's our crystals, because even selling crystals, we work like well together.
Yeah, see, that's the thing with when it comes to our crystals, I channel shop, and I know that's the weirdest thing.
She truly does
heard.
channel shop, though.
I
honestly.
channel shop when I'm shopping for crystals from the wholesalers.
Because we pick each
literally pick each individual crystal with a purpose for a reason that Spirit's telling me it needs to come here because somebody does need this particular crystal.
And I don't question it. That's how that's the line.
Yeah.
That's the way it's got to go.
So it's really strange the way I do it, but it's the energy. And she's like, why'd you get that? I said, I don't know. It was the energy. I had to have that. I don't know why yet. I'll know when it gets here and whoever buys it.
Exactly. But we find that our work takes us into so many nooks and crannies of so many other things too. So it keeps us interesting. It keeps our show interesting. It keeps us, learning new things. It's just we have a blast. I think that's we love what we do.
Yeah.
That's just
and that's
Why do crystals work? What's the theory? What's happening with crystals that they work?
Crystals is energy from the earth, is what it is. When I purchase, I only buy natural crystals, not man-made.
Right.
They're all natural crystals that I buy, and you're dealing with an earth energy, is what it is.
Mhm.
So each formation of each individual crystal has a different energy to it that can actually help somebody do it. Like, for example, like an amber calcite. Amber is a really popular stone, but the moment you get amber around any type of heat, it will melt. But if you're mixing it with the calcite stone, you're actually going to have something that helps somebody maintain their focus. Now, any child with ADD, ADHD, or learning disabilities holding a honey calcite ball versus dealing with the medication, all right, you're going to find that they're able to channel focus and calm and stay calm and not get to that accelerated rate.
Yeah.
So I kind of look at things from all perspective when I'm dealing with crystals.
Mhm.
What is the energy of the crystal? What are the properties of the crystal? What can it do to heal somebody?
Mhm.
And then I'll feel the crystal out. And it's just, I have this, because I'm an energy type person, I have this strong affinity towards working with the energy of crystals more than plants.
Mhm.
Michelle is the plant
I'm the
fiend.
plant. I'm more the plants.
I buy them, she waters them and keeps them going.
You know, and I'm more of the kitchen witch too, while she
Yeah.
does more of the Celtic candle magic and stuff. But we work wonderful together, and we're gonna keep doing this. We're gonna keep doing this till we're old and gray.
Oh yeah.
So how old are you now? That's not really appropriate.
No, I have
We're
no
old
problem
and
saying
gray.
it. I'm 43 years old. I have no problem saying
Well,
it.
she's when you're old, I'm already gray. That's why I dye my hair purple.
Well, I'm 43
gray
years
and white,
old.
so it gives it great highlights with the
Yeah.
color.
But we already know that this is what we're meant to be doing. This is what we are meant to do.
Yeah, it was really strange how it all kind of fell on my lap, because I was working, like I said, I was working with a bunch of different crews filming, but I was also the lead psychic investigator for a couple too. And then a lot of times in the demonic cases, when I do get called, I would get called because I don't get affected the way others
Yeah,
do.
and of course I get called for that.
So we would always kind of bump into each other here and there, but we never really connected. So, but after my husband passed, there was that, I guess I was open for that connection because I was ready for that connection type thing.
Mhm.
So, and I totally spaced out where I was going with this. I'm having a brain fart.
You're married again because your husband passed. Is that what
Yes.
you're saying? You didn't divorce him. Oh, that's sad. So
No,
how did that work out?
Well, he was actually terminally ill for several years. So the last year of his life, he took up a lot of time. So I kind of backed out from the psychic circuit. I backed out from the teams. I backed out from everything.
Mhm.
So I was kind of just there on my own. And once in a while, if I had somebody to watch him, I would go help film a team. So I
Yeah.
kind of came to a big standstill because he had liver cancer, and then the liver cancer got into the dementia. So he required around the clock hospice care towards the
Yeah.
end, literally, because he would be up and down all night pretending he could cook and forget what he was doing, and the house could burn down. So there was a lot of things going on there. So my kids had to deal with that as well, but they didn't want it any other way. And then after he passed, getting over the mourning period, it was like, okay, maybe I should check my old emails.
Mhm.
And I did. And then I got an offer. Hey, you want to try a paranormal radio show? You know,
Yeah.
I've watched some of your shows, and I like them, the older shows. And, you know, I was wondering if maybe you'd like to do a paranormal radio show. And then literally, I swear to God, Joey in the back of my head said, call Michelle. So he said, call Michelle. So it's like, okay, Michelle. She goes, yeah. Hey, do you want to do a paranormal show? What? Yeah, radio. You want to do radio? Okay. I said, all right, good. Oh, I also need you to model. I got a photo shoot I want to do.
Yep.
Because I started getting into the photography after my husband died, looking for the brighter side of things. And that's another book we're still working on. That's called Widow's Eyes. And that's kind of like a more of a self-portrait type book of all my photography that I've come from, where I come from the widow, going up to the dark period is what I like to call it, from all the
Mhm.
dark pictures into where I actually became and got more creative. So literally I gave her a call, and we started the radio. I had no clue how to do radio. I had no clue about
Yeah.
anything but editing, because that's what I did. I edited, you
Mhm.
know, video, photos. I did all that stuff, and everything else just kind of fell in my lap. And I was like, hey, I like this. So I started learning about it. So,
Mhm.
and here we are.
So like I said, we literally
you
do
are.
everything. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And mind you, I've done radio before, but
I
it
haven't.
never worked
Yeah.
It never was a success like it's been with Sue. It never was, and that was all obviously for a reason. It was
Yeah,
meant to
it's
be.
because you have one side of the brain, I have the other.
It works.
And when we need the whole one, we take turns. One of us naps.
Yeah, two half-wits make a whole.
That's true.
Yes. Didn't you know that? And
Yes.
negatives make a positive.
Oh,
Oh.
And we work, and that's how it works.
So I get an impression that you're. What was your husband? I think he's very happy. Do you think that he's happy now? He seems to be like he watches over you, and he seems to be very happy.
Yeah, he does. He watches over me.
He's
yeah,
happy.
he's still here, and he still causes trouble every now and then. But now he's competing with our other resident ghost, Bob, in the house.
We have a ghost named Bob
Yeah.
that lives with us.
So I'm used
Tell
to
us
it.
about Bob. What did Bob do? How did you get custody of Bob? Did he come
Oh,
back,
we got
or-
well. See,
First,
after when it was a bit heart wrenching, and then I got to say thank you so much for my BFF. I wouldn't have gotten through this. I had to move out of my house 3 years after my husband died. And I had to move into an apartment, and it was devastating for me. I was really losing my mind trying to run the network and dealing with everything else. So she was my human support bear that I used to, the kind you sob on all the time. That was her. So she was keeping me above.
I like
boat.
boogers. I like boogers.
She was
so-
keeping me above boat. So we moved in here. And then with the radio show, and we got everything settled to the way we wanted the office, and we both have our desks and everything else, and everything was good. And we knew we had a spirit in the house, and I just couldn't, it didn't dawn on me. And then an old client of mine came by to pick up her mother's crystal because her mother just had surgery, and she goes, "You live where?" I said, "On 3rd floor." "Why?" She goes, "That's where my father died."
Yeah.
And I knew her father. That's why I wasn't afraid of the spirit. So his name is Bob. So he literally died in this house. So, and that's how we got a hold of Bob, who likes to cause trouble with the dogs.
Yep, he messes with the
He
dogs.
messes with the dogs, and now he's messing with the poor landlord. Oh
Yep,
my God,
yep.
you've got to tell him that story.
Oh my Lord.
Well, if you want to hear a story, this is a story. It's funny.
We want to hear a story.
Oh my God. We have a new landlord. He just recently bought the residence that we live in.
Yep.
And Bob the ghost has been acting up.
Uh-huh.
I've been hearing him in the hallways. I've been hearing him doing naughty things.
Set up the alarm,
yeah,
the car alarms.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was in one night that all of a sudden it's like 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning. The landlord's car alarm started going off like crazy.
Bob.
Yeah, it wasn't the landlord. It wasn't an intruder. It was literally Bob. So then the landlord, I think it was like 3 more times that night he did that. Then he shut off our water. We had no hot water. Then when that didn't work, we had no cold water.
Yep.
Mind you, this was spirit activity. Nobody was touching these things. This was spirit activity.
So he was up and down with
Yeah.
what's going on, and he's saying, yeah, all these weird things are going on. So, of course, us being us, it's like, we've been paranormal investigators. We dealt with demonic cases. It sounds like Bob's picking on everybody. I'll yell at him for you. He goes, "Bob, who's Bob?" I saw the ghost.
That's right.
Oh my God, this poor guy turned sheet white.
Oh my God.
Oh, this part is
I had
hilarious.
to walk him down the stairs. He was terrified. Okay, terrified to be alone. I had to walk him down to his own apartment because he was like frozen in fear over the whole
He's
thing.
old enough to be my kid.
Yeah, he terrified.
Oh my God.
Straight terrified.
I couldn't stop laughing. I
Yep.
know that's wrong, but I'm sorry. I could not stop laughing at this poor guy.
Yep. But I mean, that's just the adventures that we literally go through. Every day
Yeah.
is an adventure around here.
So we haven't seen him in a couple of days, but we know. it's
Yeah,
fine.
I know. I think he's
Poor
been
guy.
he's accepting more hours at work because I think he's afraid of being harassed by the ghost Bob.
Oh.
I mean,
Bob
just
get along with the other ghosts in your house. Do they
Yeah,
interact
but
with each other?
Bob, I don't know if they really interact. I do have a ghost cat too. I had a cat that passed. My daughter's cat passed just before I left. My kids were all going on their own because they're all older. They stayed with me for a little bit after my husband passed. So, and right now I only have my 16-year-old, but her cat passed. We have a ghost cat that likes to drive Otis nuts. So, and then I have my relatives that pop in and out, and then spirit that pops in and out,
Yep.
depending on who it is that I'm reading and who's coming in.
Yep.
So, like somebody's coming in right now. I don't know
Right.
who it is yet.
And I'm just a
Sorry.
spirit disaster area.
Yeah.
They're coming in.
So
They
then we got
coming
the
on
old
in.
village witch over here. So Yeah, no, everybody gets along fine. Sometimes they cause a little problems here and there, but
Sometimes electrical things go wrong around here.
yeah,
Sometimes.
we yell at them, and then we burn some Palo Santo and sage,
Yeah,
and
and we tell them where to go
yeah,
and how to get there.
give them directions.
Yeah, and they go, and they go. But it's a
So
regular.
do you pull in ghosts for other people? Like, do they want to see their dad that just passed? And do that type of work?
I do.
Yeah, Sue does. She does
I
that
do.
channeling work.
I
do.
just had a client that I can't really say much, but she really needed to talk to her mom. So I literally needed an object from her because I also do the psychometry.
Yes.
So I combined the psychometry of the object with the energy of the individual it belonged to. So I pulled her in, and it's a little bit work, a little draining, but you know, I'm very glad it went the way that it went.
Yep.
I
So
really am.
She's able to contact,
That's
past.
something I prefer to do in person. Because of the amount of energy it takes to do, it helps to have the actual connection.
Yeah. Yep. And I
would you be able to do if Janet wanted to talk to somebody right
No, I
now?
don't talk to anybody right now.
Who
Yeah,
do you not want to talk to right now, honey?
Who do you want to talk to?
Who do you not want to talk to?
No, something like that, because I'm a perfectionist and because I've lost so many people, including a son, a father, a husband. I don't lie. I don't pull punches. So that's something I prefer to only do in person. I don't, because of everything that I have dealt with in my life. Loss is something I do take very seriously, and I know that my clients do as well. I mean, every now and then I will do a Zoom reading online, but I still need that connection through sight versus I don't do anything over the phone. They either have to be in person or live on Zoom so I can see them.
Yeah.
Because that's just the way that I work, because I won't lie to somebody about not having or making stuff up. I can't do that because I would know what it would feel like if the situation was reversed.
I mean, I also do tasseography, which is the tea leaf reading.
Yep.
It's also something that I like doing it face to
How
face.
does that work? Does the person have to drink the tea that you read their leaves?
Yes, the person has to drink the tea. There's a certain, like, the way you turn the cup, how many turns to the left, how many turns to the right. It's like there's a little bit of a ritual involved with it. We have taught the classes already a few times on our network, but it gives people up to a year's worth of information regarding their readings and what life's going to be like for them in the next year. Literally breaks things down into months, 3, 6, 9, and 12 months when you do a tea leaf reading. So I can't go too much past the year, but the year is there in the tea leaf readings for sure. But so if I do it,
What makes a leaf work that it is able to pick things for people? I'm trying to think of it, how it works. Does the person somehow with their mind make it go in certain configuration?
You know what?
I believe the theory behind it.
I believe like a lot of things in magic, I believe it's symbolism.
Yep.
I believe it's symbols. I believe symbols are present in synchronicity. I believe symbols are present in even in anywhere we look, our media, everywhere. So I believe that's how it works, is through the actual symbols it gives us. Because it obviously can't come out and just say words, but it can give us the symbolism of certain things that we need to know in our lives. And believe it or not, the tea leaves will show you. They will show you things. You will see symbols. You will see stories. You will get messages from your teacups. You can do a teacup reading on yourself as well as others. So that's one of the things that I teach too, is more so the symbology of it all. Because I mean, in every type of bit of magic, it's symbolism. Symbolism is key to everything. So that's also the key to the tea leaf readings. So when somebody's able to read their own tea leaf reading, they're able to drink their own tea. I believe it's a very, very accurate method of divination, because everybody can do it for you. You can do it yourselves. But I also do online tea leaf readings too, where I drink the tea leaves for the person, and I go through the whole process of taking them through their reading. Plus, I mean, I also give them a copy of what their cup looks like, so that way if they want to look for further messages and such, then I'm always happy to be there to help them figure that out. But it's, again, one of the things that we teach. We teach whatever we can teach. We're not those that want to keep this hidden and want to keep that hidden. But we like if we can benefit from it and it's something we can teach other people to benefit from, then that's what we do. So a lot of our people that follow our network have learned how to do their own tea leaf readings. So that's not a secret.
Yeah, Brenda.
Yeah.
She went out and actually bought a tea set.
You'd be surprised
So,
how many
yeah.
people are gifted in tea leaf readings and they never once in their lives think about that, of that being a manner of divination. They may not be able to acquaint with cards or pendulums or other methods of divination, but tea leaves, people usually can. People that are connected with them can.
Yeah, exactly.
You
I
know?
mean, think of it this way. The easiest way, I think, to explain it for some others, I'm sorry, I always translate Michelleanese. I'm used to doing this. I'm sorry. If you lay on the ground, you're looking at the clouds, everybody sees a different picture in the cloud, correct? You can make, it's just a cloud, but you see things in the
Yes.
cloud. The
Yes.
same is true for the tea leaves.
Yes.
You can actually see things with the tea leaves.
Yeah, yeah. Amazing, accurate
Yeah.
messages. Honest to goodness. I would believe a teacup reading over anything any day. It totally is. But it is a lost art. It is an absolute lost art, which is why we're trying to teach people about it.
Right.
This is why we also teach palm reading. When was the last time you met a palm reader? Not, I'm sure it hasn't been very soon.
It's been a
very
long
often.
time. When I was a kid in Pittsburgh, there was a place in town, downtown Pittsburgh, which probably isn't much there anymore. And it was you could go up and get reading. You could go up and have a really nice home cooked meal, and then they would come and they would do what you want. You get a palm reading, get tea reading, you get cards, tarot, whatever you wanted. And so I would go every time I go town. I'd go get a nice home cooked meal, and it was very reasonable. And then I'd get a different reading. But that was the '60s. I haven't seen this type of thing in a long time. We used to have a lot of psychic fairs. I don't know.
Right.
Are you having psychic fairs where you live?
We don't do a lot in the
East Coast.
psychic. Yeah, we don't do a lot in the psychic circuit. We're more metaphysical and healing. So
And paranormal.
yeah, and we do some paranormal here and there. Sometimes it's like Cody comes up and he's like, "Hey, let's go do this together."
Mhm.
So
Yep.
he's really cool. We love
Yeah.
Cody. Cody Despians, and then
Cody? Who's
Huh?
Cody?
Cody
Who
Despian
is
from
Cody?
TAP. He's a TAPS member
TAPS member
from
Cody.
Ghost Hunters.
Yeah.
He's a TAPS
Oh,
member.
oh,
Yes.
I don't
Yeah.
know Cody. So tell us, what do you do with Cody? What does he do? He hunts ghosts.
Yes,
well,
he does.
no, he's like the world's. He invents a lot of stuff. He does tech. You can find his
Oh my goodness,
his
his
Des Tech ball.
we
Shout
call
out
him,
Cody.
We call him Cody's
Cody's balls,
balls.
but they're not. It's sorry. We pick on him about this, but it's a very, very small ball.
Yeah.
Kind of big. I don't know, maybe about 3 or 4 centimeters. And
Yeah.
what it does is it actually picks up the energy of spirit, and it also gives spirit something to play with.
Yeah, so they like
it's
playing with
right.
Cody's balls.
So
Spirit.
there she goes. So it actually lights up in colors. It's available. She does this all the time to me. It's actually available on eBay. But as far as sound and EVP,
Yeah,
he
he's
is really good
amazing.
at it because there's a certain system that he uses when he records EVP.
Mhm.
He puts it through to make sure that whether it's like in the human spectrum of a voice, so he actually
Yeah,
analyzes
he's amazing. Absolutely
each
amazing.
individual EVP that
Yeah.
he does receive.
We're very proud of
Yeah.
Cody because we were one of the bugs in Cody's ears about you should do this, you should
we
do
were
that,
bugging the
you
heck
should
out of
do
him.
this, you should do that.
Do you have
Oh.
a website and the YouTube? You want to send me the links? I'll put it on your page.
Yeah,
It's,
sure. He's a
Email that to me.
Well, his products is Des Tech, but right now he's just Cody Despians, and he's also under all the TAPS teams.
yeah. You can find him under
Yeah, you can find him
the
under
Transatlantic Paranormal Society.
yeah,
which is TAPS.
Okay.
yep.
Oh, and just an FYI, I am the one who got arrested for Lizzie Borden. No one can ever say
we
that
haven't
but
even talked
me.
Lizzie Borden yet.
Wait. Slow down. You what?
I got arrested for Lizzie Borden. I truly
On purpose.
on purpose got arrested. Well, Lizzie Borden,
Tell us about that.
when she was waiting for her trial to go on, she was literally being held here in our local jail, which is our Ash Street jail. Same jail that held her there for a number of time. So I got a brilliant idea that I figured I was going to get myself arrested so I could get inside Ash Street jail and find out for myself whether Lizzie was there or not.
Yep.
And I did.
Yep.
I stole a candy bar and they told me, I could have just paid for it. I said, no, arrest me. I want to get arrested. They didn't want to arrest me. So I had to cause a little bit of a ruckus. And then they finally arrested me. And I spent my night in jail literally like interviewing like every guard, every person that I could get my hands on, anybody that I could talk to about whether they felt that Lizzie Borden was on the premises or not. But she wasn't.
So Lizzie Borden is who? She's the lady that she's a
Took
ghost.
the
and
axe.
She gave a whack.
Yeah, Lizzie Borden had an
Sorry, tell me
axe.
who Lizzie Borden is.
Yeah,
She-
Lizzie Borden had an
What was
axe.
The poem. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, Lizzie
Go
Borden
ahead.
is one of the number one most haunted place in the universe is the Lizzie Borden house.
Okay.
And that's local to us. Lizzie Borden is the woman that we don't know if she actually committed the murders
No,
or not.
she didn't.
We believe she didn't.
Nope.
We found out proof that we know that she didn't, but people believe still at the Second Street home that the ghost of Lizzie Borden and the ghost of her father and the stepmom that she committed murder, on is still there.
No,
Lizzie
it's
is not there.
No, she's not.
Lizzie is not there. Lizzie died in her Maplecroft home, which is another home she bought in the same town that she lived in.
See, we got a call. I got a call from Deb Vicks, who runs the Lizzie Borden houses, and she's like, hey, we're doing something. Do you want to come up and maybe
We got
do
invited to be the
a
first
radio
paranormal
spot? So we
team
went
there.
up to the Maplecroft home, and we actually caught an apparition of Lizzie. We have audio of her.
Yep.
We have EVP. I'm still in the process.
She called
of
me
putting that
bad
together.
names. She called me bad words. Well, she came up for some bad words for me, I should say.
Yeah. No, we're not. We weren't fresh with this. She
No, we
talked a lot
weren't,
about
though.
about her animals,
So
about her
you
dog.
got arrested so you could try to get information, and she
Yes,
wasn't
this was
there.
long
Yes.
before she met me.
Yeah, long
Just so
before
you
I met
know.
Susan. This was all out of my own advice.
Okay.
My
And
own
how did you
devices.
get out? What got arrested? How did you
My
get
family
out?
had to bail me out. They had to bail me out for $40 bail to get me out. It was the best night in jail I ever spent in my life. It was awesome.
How old are you?
I was 30 something.
Yes, that's way
Yeah.
before me.
Yeah, I was literally, and I don't regret it till this day. I'm the first one to say it. I don't regret it. I don't regret it. But I didn't find Lizzie there. I found Lizzie there at Maplecroft.
Yeah.
That's where she was. That's where she passed. She's not at the Second Street home. I'll tell that to anybody. That's not a secret.
Yeah, and her longtime maid Trudy was living there too.
Yeah,
Trudy
and
had
her
her own
sister
room in the
moved
house.
moved to New Hampshire.
So, and literally, she said Trudy.
So she hasn't gone over to the other side though. She's still a ghost and haunting.
She still is, yes.
Did people go on over and never come back?
She literally is still a very ongoing, like very fresh thing because out of our area, that is the biggest unsolved mystery that we have, unsolved murders that we have. If you get closer to our day and age now, like in the 80s, we had other types of killings that were probably Lizzie Borden caliber, but no one's been
The
discovered
highway
yet.
murders.
The highway murders.
Yeah, the highway murders. Yeah.
So she's really up there with where's Lizzie Borden? Is she haunting now the Second Street home? I believe the father and the stepmom does haunt that house. It's other relatives
Yes,
of the
but
Bordens.
as an empath, when you go in there, certain areas of the house, it's almost like a deep negative presence in that house.
At the
So,
Second Street home.
yeah, a lot of people are wondering maybe there was an ultimate, a different type of influence there, as far as maybe even demonic negative.
Yeah.
That could have caused the issue. But
Mhm.
I have heard a lot of EVPs come out of there,
Mhm.
and a lot of things, a lot of the energy.
Let's,
Every time, sorry.
so you just brought up a very important point. You guys are like really fast, so I'm going to slow you down a little bit here.
Sorry.
So you said that's okay because it's very interesting, exciting energy. But I want to. Because I had a house that was very haunted, and so you're saying that a negative force can be in the house, like Amityville Horror, and cause the people to perhaps act out and do negative things like murder, suicide type things.
Yes.
So
Yes.
tell us about that type of thing.
Well, some people are very susceptible because you have to remember we're dealing with chi energy, and for those that are, say if somebody's sick, like say if somebody has been through like chemotherapy that's sick, that actually opens them up. That's why it's very important to keep your chakras balanced, make sure your aura is cleansed, because if you're not balanced and cleansed, you can actually become more susceptible. Sometimes some medications can actually be the actual cause of it. So it's more like a case by case type thing
Yeah.
where psychologically you have to look at different aspects of it. Like there's a particular ongoing case that Michelle and I deal with in
Yes.
another state. And that is what is known as a portal. Now, the portal at that house is actually causing a lot of mischief into her because the portal is it brings in negativity
Yeah.
is what it's doing.
Yeah.
So, and that's a portal that's been ongoing for quite some time now.
Yeah.
That we had it almost
But-
closed, but then it opens up again the moment you do constructions and things.
But what people don't realize about the Borden home is that prior to the Lizzie Borden story, there was centuries and decades of other Borden murders and other really crazy suicides and murders of children, women hanging themselves, women drowning in the well. I mean, there was so much already there of negativity. What people don't understand is Lizzie Borden truly wasn't negative. She was a very nice woman. She's the one who literally was 100% behind animals, behind the very first orphanages for animals and children in the area. She died in peace. She died in solitude, in happiness. She didn't die like a wounded victim of an unsolved murder. You know what I mean? She didn't end her life that way. She ended her life doing the things that she loved.
Did she get arrested for the murders? Did she get arrested for the murders?
She did get arrested and was held during the court proceedings, and then the court deemed her innocent. But again, that's where there's a lot of conflict because they did deem her as innocent, but people still wonder and question, did she actually do it?
Because they never actually found the
They
murderers.
never found the
Right.
actual real murderers.
Is what they didn't. That's the particular issue.
Yeah. But do we believe that she did that?
Mm-mm.
No, we do not. I do not believe Lizzie Borden did that. And
Yeah.
we have proof, and more proof to prove that she didn't. She didn't. She liked us very much because when we went to
Are
go
you
visit her
writing a book
home.
on this?
Excuse me?
Are you writing a book on this?
There's been
That's just a question
so many books out there written on Lizzie Borden
Yes.
right now that it's really kind of overdone. These are things that we've done. I think we did that about 2
years ago
about
now.
2 years ago now. We did that.
Mhm.
So we've been focusing more on the network and things.
And by the way, the Maplecroft home is still not open to the general public. So we were the original team that's only
Well,
that's
Deb
been in the
Vick's
house.
team was in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, Deb Vick. So.
Yeah. So I asked to be there.
That's a question.
No, yeah, this sounds to me like a misogynistic interpretation of the murders. Just presumption because she's a woman, blah blah blah.
Right.
Am I reading more into it, or is that accurate?
No, you're correct.
No.
You're absolutely correct. It's how they believed women to be, how they perceived women to be back then at that time.
Right.
That's why they couldn't perceive a woman actually being the murderer. That's part of the reason why she got off was because she was a female. They just don't think that women have the strength to commit murder. But believe it or not, everyone has the strength to do that. When they have that kind of mindset like that. But she didn't do it though. She really didn't do it. She had a lot of star-crossed loves in her life too. And in the end, she died peacefully and she died happy where she was. Nothing like the woman that they projected her to be at all. People project her to be this crazy axe murderer. She's truly not that way. She truly isn't. And we read her energy. We read her spirit. Okay. I got on an old antique telephone. I was going to talk to her.
Oh my God! I got a copy of that video.
Sue's gotta tell
and
you about
I
that
got
one.
the EVP. We play it on the show all the time.
Yeah.
See, Michelle being Michelle, gotta love her, but sometimes she's a little blonde, and it's funny. You know the old-fashioned rotary phones where you hold the long piece and you talk into the little one.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Michelle actually had the phone the opposite way, trying to pretend she was calling Lizzie Borden for a phone call.
Yeah. And
Well,
it worked.
Lizzie Borden literally called her malarious.
Call me malaria.
Malarious. And I had to look up the word because I had no idea what it meant. I just know that it was her voice.
Yep.
Well, evidently the word malarious, and we actually have the EVP, but the word malarious actually means like having malaria and hysterical at the same time. So
Right.
basically it was her way of calling her a dumb blonde and laughing at her.
Pretty much calling me a space cadet.
Yeah, she was a space ace, so called her
Yeah.
malarious. But that's
Yeah.
Michelle for you. That's the interaction we were having.
Yeah.
Because when you're going into these places and you're investigating, you want to know the history before you go in.
Yeah.
You don't want to go
Right.
in there and you don't want to challenge them or
We
be
didn't
negative
bring
to
one
them.
negative thing
No,
up.
you want to find information out about her,
Mhm.
what she was like, what kind of dogs,
Yeah.
what was the dog's name. In other words, you need to establish a connection.
Relationship,
And,
kind of.
yeah, and that's what happens. And Michelle, just being goofy Michelle, like she always is, just called her malarious.
Yeah, she happened to
Yeah.
pick up the phone to talk to me, though.
Yeah.
We got a
Yeah, it
picture
was
with her.
hilarious.
Yes, with her picking up the phone
Yeah.
on her end, because it was her phone was near the armoire by the door where they hang their coats and umbrellas and hats
Yeah.
and things. She had her phone there, and I brought the other phone that I had brought as a prop into the living room, and so we made a phone call. So I ended up literally having a conversation with Lizzie over the phone. So
Oh.
it was an amazing. It was in a lifetime, like a lifetime dream come true.
Yeah,
too.
she said, I finally did it. I finally did it.
I
We
caught
got Lizzie.
We got her, and she was happy. She died, an old lady.
Yeah, she did.
Wow.
Just
Okay,
with the
so
bug in
you're
her bed.
saying, let me get this clear, because you guys are so quick and funny, but I just want to make sure this is clear. You're saying you don't have to use the EVP equipment. You can actually use an antique telephone, and your intention was to call her.
Yes.
Because you had that intention, you reached her and you had a
Yes.
conversation. And
Yes.
only one party was able to hear her talking, though, right? Or were you able to record it both sides?
No, I was recording EVP.
So we catch my
So-
side of the conversation and the EVP. All yes.
Right. So I was recording the EVP at the time, which I don't really use the headphones much. It kind of interacts with me weird, but I was training another psychic to work with me that night, so I didn't have my headphones on. So I found it when I came home.
Yes.
And it was also on the video aspect of it. Well, I mean,
So we have
it's-
video and
she
audio
was
and everything
bloody
to
hilarious
place
that
how
day.
everything went and to back up
Oh.
our proof. But I was very honored.
Tell our
After
listeners a little bit more about EVP. What does EVP stand for?
It's electric
And
voice
what is it?
phenomenon.
Yep.
Electric voice phenomenon.
Yes.
And how did that come about? Who discovered that, or do you have any idea how?
Oh
we get
wow!
into EVP?
To be honest, when I started back investigating, EVPs were being caught by tape recorders back in the day.
Yeah, I don't honestly. I
So
don't
it's
know
been
who started it.
Yeah, it's been a long time
Yeah.
premise in paranormal investigating. The electronic voice phenomenon. That's been number.
I think back in the day it was
Yeah.
called white noise.
I think it was called
Yeah.
white noise back
But
in the day.
off the top of my head, no, I don't have any idea who created the EVP.
But we know they were brilliant because it worked.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
It worked. And there's nothing like hearing Lizzie.
So how do you know who you're getting? Like, I heard one EVP that they had Robin Williams, and it was right after he died, and it certainly sounded like him.
Right.
Oh, I very much believe that. I believe that. I've gone in my
What do you know
career.
you're getting? And
I believe in my career, I've done it actually quite a few times where someone has passed. They're not even buried or anything yet, and the family wants me in there because it's the last minute messages. So
Yeah.
yes, you do hear the person. Yes, you do hear their voice. Yes, they will give you answers. They're still kind of earthbound at that point. So yeah, I believe it works. I believe it's accurate, 100%.
so they're still kind of earthbound, so they haven't really they're not really wise yet. They haven't gone to the other side and got all
Right.
the lessons and
Well,
did they do their
it's-
life review or whatever.
Yeah,
There's-
they're still confused.
Yeah, well, no, there's many different aspects of it. There's what is known as an earthbound spirit, but there's also a residual loop that you can actually get an EVP from. If something like a traumatic event happens and it takes a lot of like negativity or negative energy or a scary event or a murder, you can have what is known as a residual loop. What it is it's literally you hear the same thing all the time in that particular area during a certain time. So that technically would not be an earthbound spirit. It's the energy that it's actually left over from that particular loop.
Yeah.
Well, I'm talking about somebody like that poor woman that just got shot by the cop when she was babysitting her nephew. So she's one moment playing with her nephew, next minute she's dead. So would she be aware what happened right away? Tell us a little bit about these people that have traumatic deaths, like they get blown up or they're,
I believe they go into like a healing period. I believe once they actually leave this actual earth, do believe that they go into kind of like, I don't know, like I want to call it like afterlife rehab, where they kind of go and relearn what it's like to be human, kind of heal up for what they had gone through here in their physical life. I believe that that's case by case though.
Yeah, literally case by case. It's literally different. I can give you an example as long as you people don't think I'm a little morbid, but in the year 2000 on January 13th, my father dropped dead at work. And for the next 6 months, they constantly seen his spirit in the hallways. Every elderly person there seen his spirit walking the hallways. So I would say that he was on like a pause of shock. He just thought he was working for a while. So he did roam the halls for a bit. So, and again, it's
did you reach him? Were you able to reach him to tell? So we had a person that drowned, and he didn't realize he was dead, and he was coming to the house here, and I was working with him while he was dead. But when he first died, within the first 24 hours, we had some company here, and he came and stood at the foot of the bed by our company, and it was a man. And he woke up and he saw him standing there. He said, "Oh, Jim, your dad." And Jim went, "Oh, that's what's going on. I'm dead." Oh, no, that makes sense. He didn't know he was dead.
Yeah, some people don't realize what's happening. So, and again, it's individual depending on case by case.
Right.
If somebody is literally like say, like for my father, he's walking 1 minute behind his coworker, and the next minute he's just dead. There was no revival period. He just went boom, and that was it.
Yeah.
So people like that will be like, yeah, like what happened?
Yeah.
Kind of like, you're walking down the street 1 minute, there's black ice, you slip and you fall, you have no idea how you got on the ground. It's kind of the same similar situation for some spirit activity. They don't understand it. So if you're putting that particular situation in, like, say, a house, they don't realize that they're gone. They want to know why you're invading their house.
Yeah, why are you crying all the time?
Yeah.
Why are you sad?
Yeah.
Why are you doing these things to my? It's just. But again, it's a case by case.
Right.
It's a case by case
And
thing.
it all depends on what's occurring, and that's what you need to do. So,
Well,
and
curious
that's why
about your dad. Okay, so your dad, what year was it that he died?
2000.
Okay, so have you been able to talk to him about it, and does he know he's dead now?
Oh yeah, of course he does.
You know he's dead now.
Yeah, he knows he's dead
How
now.
did you reach?
How'd you reach him? She's saying.
Yeah, how did you reach him?
Oh, he came to me. It was Old Spice.
He smells Old Spice.
When he comes in, I smell Old Spice. Yeah, that's my father. My father actually, he smells like Old Spice. And when he first realized he died, he used to have a blast. Every time my husband, God rest his soul, he was a sweetheart, but he was also a damn dumb Portuguese. No offense, that's what I used to call him. He used to do really dumb things. So what he used to do is, if he did not like anything on the top of the refrigerator. So when my husband messed up, something would come flying off the top of the fridge at my husband's head all the time. So I'm like, okay, Dad, what did you do now, dude? And then I looked right at him. I said, what'd you do? I knew it was my father. I could smell him. I knew he was there. So I knew right off the bat. And then my father would come in and say, hey, this thing he's missing is over here. So I go over there and I get it. So with me, it was more of an interaction on how my kids grew up. And my kids grew up with the openness of the spirit and the loved ones coming through. Because of me growing up feeling awkward, I didn't want my kids to feel awkward. What the heck is that?
I mean, that's one of the things too that we try to teach, and that's part of the other thing too that I've done in the past is we try to reach people when they're young. And, there's not a lot of things for children these days to really be positive about, like there used to be for us growing up. So we feel that way, too, about even new paranormal investigators, that there is that whole thing. There's like a big learning period where you go through certain things that you may not think it's going to be part of your investigative skills, but it is. It becomes a part of your skills somewhere down the line.
What is that beeping?
I don't know what it is. Do you hear that beeping, guys?
I think it's because everybody's talking on Revolution Radio, and it's coming through beep beep. I'm not hearing it on my end, but Somehow I have the chat on and I don't know how to get it off. I'm sorry.
Ah, I see.
People are talking. I don't know. I'm not a technician. Those people in the chat are really talking up a storm. Let me
Do you have
tell
any
now.
questions for us in the chat room?
Anybody have any questions for us in the chat? Yeah. Sasha has a question.
Well,
Sure.
yeah, we really, Revolution Radio, the guy that owned it, just passed recently, and we want to know what's in stock for our radio station. And I wonder if you could, whatever skills you got a whole bag of them, both of you, you'd like to put out. Could you tell us something about where we're going with Revolution Radio? What's your take?
Yeah, and then I also have to remind everybody to please do your donation. We need your donation. We are on Revolution Radio, revolution.radio, and we would appreciate right now if you would take just a few minutes and go over there and make your donation this week. We can really use it to keep bringing you the wonderful shows like this one, and I hope you're having fun. Okay, so back to you. So yeah, we've been really mourning our fearless leader, Hawk, and he passed. So I guess within the last 2 weeks, and he had a long illness, and then he found. Can you sense Nighthawk? Do you have any sense of him? Is he happy about what's going on with us carrying on his work? Are you getting any sense of Nighthawk?
The only thing I'm getting is an impression is somebody saying, you guys are too fast, slow down. You guys are speed demons, slow down. That's the impression that I'm getting, is like that message, like, slow down, you guys are going too fast. Slow it down, slow it down. I honestly don't know what that refers to, but that's the impression I'm getting.
Like Hawk, that might be Hawk. He might want us to slow down and talk slower, but we're having fun.
You're doing too much. You're doing you're doing what you're doing great, but you're doing it too quickly in his eyes. He thought he's like smooth and steady wins the race. If that makes sense.
Okay, so what do you think he wants that you're missing telling his listeners? What do you think he wants our listeners to know that he might know that what you know that you're missing that you should be conveying to the listeners? You want to?
So you want a message from a message from him? Sue's working on it.
What's his actual name?
His name is Hawk.
That's not his real name.
What's his real name though, hon?
Oh goodness, Matt, are you there?
Mike Ringley.
Mike
Ringley. Yes, Mike Ringley. Yes, I'm drawing a blank, but I knew it was Mike Ringley.
Yeah, Sue's working on her impression month. Me personally, that's what I got right off the rip was, slow down, things are too fast, going too fast, slow down. So, she's tuning into him right now. Isn't that funny though? It sounds like a TV station. She's tuning into him right now.
Is he the one that had an issue in his chest?
I just wonder what you were, what he wanted you to slow down about. What part were you doing too fast that he's?
The work that you guys are doing. The work. It's the work. All I'm getting is the work. The work that you're doing.
Delegate.
Delegating.
Yeah, delegating work is what he's trying to say. But who's having the heavy chest? Who's having the heavy chest? Did he have a heart attack, or is this someone else?
I'm not sure exactly what I wasn't there on the autopsy. I don't know exactly the cause of death, and I'm not sure if that's been released. But I guess everybody's heart stopped. So we all kind of.
Yeah, it's hard to say because when I first establish a connection, I literally go through a thing to make sure I have the right individual before I allow them to come through. So only thing that I'm feeling is someone that's trying to come through.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Dad, you knew Hawk better.
Yeah, he died of complications of. He had several problems, and it was mainly septic shock that got him.
Yeah, the liver enzymes. Yeah.
Okay.
That's true. That's the thing.
Yeah, because I'm getting like a pressure. It's almost like there's water around like the heart. There's a lot of pressure in this particular area.
Fluids.
Yeah, so I don't know if that's him. Also in the back of the area too. Also a headache. Ooh, I don't know who this is. Hold on.
Somebody's got a bad headache?
Yeah. I don't know who this is yet. I'm not getting the name. I have no idea. I'm just picking up the physical symptoms of what's going on. Yeah, I don't even know who this is yet.
No, we've had 3 people in the since the 25th of last month die that was associated with the station.
Okay, this particular individual, I don't know who it is, but this one has a heaviness in the chest. There's a lot of water around this individual.
A
lot of fluids, a lot of water, literally like inside
lungs,
the body.
Like around the lungs.
Yeah, like the lungs, the heart. There's water everywhere, and I don't know who this is or why.
I don't know.
Yeah, I can't figure this out.
What? Was it one of the people that died pretty young, Thomas? Was it one of the people pretty young?
Rectify was in his 40s, I believe, between 45 and 50. And Hawk was 55, and Steve Morrow was in his 70s.
All right.
Oh, he was in his 70s.
And somebody's very jealous about what you guys are doing, the work that you're doing right now. I don't know where that's coming from, but I know that somebody's very jealous about the work you're doing right now. You're doing awesome with the work. And if somebody is actually very, very vengeful and has like a little bit of a revenge in their heart about the whole situation. Is there somebody in the past that used to work with your network that doesn't anymore? Because I feel like there's somebody that jealous.
We got lots of enemies.
Yeah, I feel that's...
No, I have no idea who this is. I don't know where the connection's coming from yet, but I can only tell you what my impressions are right now. But this particular individual, their inside of their body was surrounded by water, is what it is. There's a lot of water inside of them, as I'm being told, almost like suffocating from the inside out. And I hate to put it that way, but it's the only way that I can think of it. But this person, it doesn't seem like an older person, because literally I'm getting, you know, the Ozzy Osbourne symbol, the love you.
Somebody
like
in their 40s.
Rock On.
Yeah, somebody that passed on.
It's like
the
Rock
40s.
On, something to do with Ozzy Osbourne. This person's like Ozzy.
Yeah, that was probably Hawk, because he actually had a cover band for.
Okay. I'm being told rock on, like continue, rock on, keep going. Literally, like the Ozzy Osbourne symbol. You see him when he holds it up to tell all the people he loves you. It's like the big L with the pinky up and the 2 fingers down. He's saying rock on. So evidently that's my, and again, he's having issues trying to speak. So this is new, isn't it? Yeah. All right.
This is very new, couple weeks.
Yeah, so literally the only thing I'm being told is to rock on and continue. Never give up.
You guys need to add some protective magic to yourself.
You know, and literally it's I love you. You know, like love you guys. Not like in love with you, but like, you know, love you guys. So I'm being told rock on.
Yeah, and you guys need to do some more protection, because there is a lot of evil eyes. There is a lot of people who are very jealous.
Black tourmaline will fix that.
Yeah, you guys need to grab something to protect you. Yeah.
You gotta slow down, we're jumping.
Burn some bay leaves. Forget the sage. Burn the bay leaves.
Wow.
That's your advice from your village witch. You need to burn some bay leaves.
Burn some bay leaves.
Just get some black tourmaline.
No, you got to burn the bay leaves. Bay leaves are for protection. Bay leaves actually work for protection. So you can literally burn 1 bay leaf or a whole bunch of bay leaves. But bay leaves are the bomb for protection.
Kitchen witch over here.
Yeah. You don't need sage. I mean, it's great if you have sage. It's great if you have Palo Santo. But if you don't have those, then you can definitely go to use that as a remedy instead. Absolutely. Hello?
Hi. Okay, so I have a question. Okay,
sure.
Ahmad, do you have a question?
No, I was just acknowledging that I was hearing.
It works, though. Bay leaves work, literally. And you can literally hold one and burn it for protection for yourself, or burn it in a little bit more of in bulk, like in some sort of like cauldron, or some sort of like some type of burner. But you could definitely burn the bay leaves, and that will help with the protection. Because I do feel like you do need the protection. There are a lot of people with evil eyes around you. A lot of evil eyes around you.
Wow. Okay, so we have about 12 minutes left. So I want to know, what do you want to tell our listeners about you, about your work?
Oh my
goodness. That
we have so much
investigator.
Yeah, we got so much new things coming.
Oh, I can't hear her. I'm sorry. She does this. She jumps over everybody. I'm sorry. Go ahead, hon. What did you say?
I was just saying that there's a lot of things that you do that we haven't covered. So I wanted to give you the opportunity to share who you are and what you do in the last 10, 11 minutes before we go off air.
Okay, well, let's see. I'm Susan Swanbeck. I'm a channeler, as you guys kind of heard. I don't really use tarot cards. I was trained by my grandmother, who's a Celtic and a Native American. I do aromatherapy. I have a doctorate in holistic psychology. I have a degree in psychology. Let's see, aromatherapy, Reiki Master Teacher. We do run the radio show. We also buy wholesale, and we sell crystals online. Each crystal is individually chosen for its energy and its properties. We don't do man-made crystals at all. All the crystals that we have is actually pure, and we're kind of just here to help the world for those that are awakened, so people don't feel as alone as we did, or at least as I did when I grew up. And that's the purpose and the reason that I opened and designed its ATU network. And if anybody wants to get a hold of us, you can just look us up at atunetwork.net, or you can drop us a line email, which is atunetwork@gmail.com.
Okay, so you're saying, spell that out. Spell out your network.
Nope, ATU, which is short for Awakening the Unknown. So it's ATU and then network.
Yep.
It was a lot shorter name than trying to write out Awakening the Unknown Network all the time. So we shortened it.
So there's a lot of new things to expect from your ATU girls now coming into 2020.
A lot.
There's a lot. But there's going to be...
What's happening in the world of 2020? Can you do a general reading for the world?
General for
reading.
the world. Let's see what I got cooking here. Let's see what's cooking here. Huh?
Never mind. He makes corny jokes. Ignore that.
That's okay. I didn't hear him. I wanted to hear it.
I like corny jokes.
He said it's higher than a major reading. I said a general reading, and he said it's higher than a major reading.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, I got the Eternal Love and the Ancestor card literally just jumped out of the deck. Now, one of you guys associated with your radio network, somebody else in their family who used to do that same sort of work that he does. I'm feeling that. Let's see. I'm going to see what else is pulling.
Yeah, I'm just being told that the anxiety levels of things that happen, everything happens in threes. That's something that's going to pass. So things are going to go in the right perspective and calm down for everybody on the network for a change. Yeah. Because I know you guys have had a few negative things that happen with you. So the anxiety part of it and everything that happens, it's almost like a rebirth, so to speak, is what they're saying. They're showing me like the symbol of a rebirth coming towards you.
And it is in relation to business. So
yeah,
as far as people getting business, they're going to get business done. Business is going to be happening. Everybody who's got business to perform, whether you're in this field, whether you're a doctor, whether you're plumbers, people are going to get more and more into their careers for the reason being that we're going to need those skills down the line. We're going to need every single person that has some sort of trade knowledge down the line. Okay, that's all going to come into handy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I feel that 100%. So, and I feel like people are going to be all business all the time, which is what needs to be done. No more slacking, no more laziness from anybody.
Yeah, but there's also going to be playing.
There is playing.
Yeah, there's some type of... Are you guys planning an event for 2020 for the network?
Not at the moment.
I do see something coming.
I do believe that maybe you should. Maybe you should.
Yeah, it's positive. It really is positive when it happens.
Family reunion on the mainland somewhere. Yeah. What were you going to say, Sasha?
Well, I think that's a great idea. Let's issue stock and have initial offerings. I think it's a very good idea.
I think you absolutely should. I think you guys need to branch out because no one person is a one thing.
No, okay? I mean, literally, it takes a village to raise a kid, so to speak. Yep. It does.
And it really does. It takes a village to raise a witch, too. Just so you know.
So what are some of the good things that are going to happen for the world in 2020? What are some of the happy things? Always focus on doom and gloom.
Well, I feel like for 2020, I feel like the universe is literally going to make an actual decision about choosing to learn through love. I think people are going to become more love happy, more love conscious. I believe that that's one of the really, really strong pieces that we've been missing for centuries and centuries and centuries is that nobody even teaches through love anymore. Nobody learns through love. Nobody teaches through love. That's one of the things that's going to come to fruition in 2020 is that people are going to learn that they can learn through love. They don't have to learn through this. They don't have to learn through boundaries. They can learn through love.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. You said something.
Oh, right on.
You know, and it's the thing is, well, the universe is going to take stock of how people feel. So it's going to be a lot of emotions coming up in the 2020 realm. It's going to be emotions from everywhere.
Yeah, I'm getting more of a physical visitation.
We're literally going into a brand new world. You know, even if you think about the aliens, we have the Secret Service for the alien hunters and super soldiers, and we have the she squatchers now, and we have so many different things out there. I believe that people are going to start literally accepting all of these things, and again, going to learn through love. They need to learn through love. That's the message that needs to be for 2020. Okay. And that's where the intention is. That is literally what the intention is that we all must strive to teach other people how to learn through love. Okay, if that makes any sense.
I love it. It does. It does.
That's my vibe, darling.
Did you like predictions for the new year? At the end of the year, do you do predictions
Well,
at
we
all?
haven't yet, but that's something definitely we can add to our repertoire.
Yeah, we haven't done that yet. So we're trying to get through the baby shower for my twin grandbabies first, which is next Sunday.
Which I apologize all the time. I apologize for that all the time.
Are they boys or girls or what?
Girls. 2 girls.
Yep.
Girls.
Identical or not?
We don't know if they're identical or not.
They're identical.
Tell they're identical.
They're identical.
How can they tell if they're
One
identical?
placenta.
Can they tell they came from one egg?
One placenta. They have one placenta. They share a placenta.
Yes. Yep. That's my fault too, by the way.
Yeah.
I got her pregnant.
Well,
Oh, well.
not
Are
in
they going to name
traditional
one after
methods.
you?
She came to the village witch because she was having problems.
Well, she asked, and I told
conceiving.
you go for it.
Yep. So, and she followed my
Go to
instructions.
the village witch.
Yep.
Well, that's great. That's on your
Yeah.
resume.
Yes.
How many babies are born because of you?
Oh my goodness gracious!
Over the years?
Over the years,
Quite a few.
quite a few.
Yeah.
I know one lady had 2 sets of twins. She was a high risk pregnancy.
Yep.
Was unable to get pregnant. She had been to Portugal looking for a village witch. I happened to be right here. And I was able to help her, and she took the knowledge and she kept that knowledge and was able to use it again and had her second set of twins. So she had twins twice because of me. And then there's
Awesome.
many others. And in all honesty, I don't think any of them just had one child. I think everyone that I have assisted
Well, every
with
now and then they do. Sometimes,
is-
yeah.
I honestly, it's been more twins than anything else, to be honest. I make those ovaries go, you know? Spit out those eggs. They come out like a ball, like those when you're playing basketball or baseball.
Yeah.
The balls come out of the machine. That's what the eggs do. Pop, 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 pop. They come out. So it's kind of how it works.
I'm excited. I
It's
can't
kind of
wait.
how it works. And
I
she
am
used
very
to, and
excited.
she used fresh rosemary. That's all I'm gonna say.
Well, she followed everything to the T because they were
First-
trying for about a year.
Are they your first grandchildren, or do you
No.
have other grandchildren?
No, they're not my first grandchildren. I have a son who was in the military and does it part-time. He was in Fort Leavenworth. He's an MP, and now he's a state police officer. And he has 2 children up there, and, you know, I don't get to see them. But Bo is literally like 10 minutes from my house, so
Yeah.
he's closer.
So these will be the twins
So-
that'll get to be spoiled
Yeah,
rotten.
I don't get to see the other 2 too often.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
2 minutes. Are you going to
Oh.
babysit?
Oh, yeah.
We're so planning
It's
it
the way
already.
that it works in my family.
Yep, we're planning it already. that
We're already
way.
planning. I already got all the spaces for all the baby stuff and where to put the babies in the office.
Oh yes, absolutely.
Michelle and I each get one.
I love rocking babies to sleep. I do.
We got it.
So we totally got
So we're
this.
gonna do the radio show and rock a kid.
Absolutely at the same time.
Why not?
Okay.
Their grandma sitting.
Yeah, their grandma sitting. One final minute. Website, all that good stuff. When's your book coming out? Yeah.
My book, I'm still working on it. I decided that I needed to add some more psychology to the back of it in simpler form. So I'm revamping part of the back. And then I hand it over to Michelle, who goes over and does all the editing and the, fix this, fix that type
And the
thing.
fluffing stuff.
Yeah, and stuff like that. So it was going to be out the end of October, but I got some revamping to do. So I'm hoping it comes out January 2020.
Yep.
I'm working on an oracle deck right now,
Our
a
very
positive
own.
affirmation oracle deck with my photos. Michelle's modeling in most of them. So that I'm hoping that'll take at least another year for that to come out. And then you can contact us at atunetwork.net, or you can email us at atunetwork@gmail.com. And of course, you can always listen to us on iTunes under ATU Network.
That's right. And we're on iHeart and all of your other fun forms of media.
Yep.
We're on all social media, so they're able to find us anywhere and everywhere, including the Twitter.
I think we're done because it's 3:56. Okay, so Amadpainter, are we finished? We want to get music, but we're not getting music.
Oh, shoot.
Oops.
Thomas, are we done?
Did you want me to sing like happy birthday or something?
No, I think we just want to say aloha. Pretty sure we're done right now. I don't know what happened to Thomas Becker. He might be putting. So I just want to give our love and thanks and appreciation, and hopefully we got this recorded and we'll be able to put it up somewhere in the next week or two. We're trying to figure out how we're going to shows up.
Thank you.
So thank you so much for coming on. You have a great evening. Much love and blessings.
You
Thank
too.
you.
Thank you.
Blessings.
Thank you. Love and light to you both. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.